Chelsea 1, Man United 1. I'm here with Lewis. Do you need another sip after that?
Yes, I need plenty. Not even based off the performance, even though it wasn't necessarily good enough and we were second best for long periods. It's just a frustration of another late equaliser, and it feels like the last few weeks under Tuchel where we would have a lead and we would just lose it in the last few minutes again and again and again. And we were lucky in some ways to get a draw. We were unlucky in some ways because we really should have held that out. And there's a lot of frustration coming out of it because United, like we said before we even got here, they were the team that didn't rotate as much from the game on Wednesday. We should have been a lot more energetic. We should have been at them from the first minute. We weren't. They looked like they had a week's rest before that game. That first half is probably the most dominating performance we've had against us this season, and they didn't even score or anything like that. It was just every time we had the ball, they just took it off us in easy pace, and then they were just passing the ball around, pinging it around our midfield, our attack, and we couldn't do a thing. We were just trying to hold on. And fair play to Potter, because he noticed the issues in midfield. He added another midfielder into it, and we started to regain control a little bit, but we never really took hold of that game. Never really did. At the very least, we evened it up a little bit. But United were just on us, and they were on us. And I don't know whether that was a penalty or not. I'll take it for what it is. But we should have seen that out. We should have seen that because we got given a lifeline with that penalty. If it weren't for that, I would have taken the 0-0. I would have ran with it because we didn't deserve it. But with how strong our defence has been, with the amount of clean sheets we've had in the last 5 or 6 games, we should be holding on to that. And we didn't. It's frustrating as hell.
So, you're happy with what you've seen from Potter. Obviously, United were...
Subs could have been a bit earlier after the first, if I'm really looking deep into it. But other than that, I'm not going to blame Potter for it. The substitutions were correct. Yeah. They had the desired impact like they always have done. He couldn't have done much more except put them on maybe 5 or 10 minutes earlier. Yeah. Because I was sitting there at 70 minutes like, can we have a fucking sub, please? But that's it. That's my only issue with Potter. Other than that, I thought he did fine.
I think Ten Hag is a top manager. I think what he's done to that United side. You remember those boys when Carrick came here, Ole? They play football, mate. They play football, and we were all laughing at however much they paid for Anthony. Casemiro, too old. They were balling out against us then. Anthony should have scored. Casemiro did score.
The fact that we didn't go in for Casemiro, when everybody, even Stevie Wonder, could see that we needed a DM, makes no sense to me. Absolutely frustrated. Came in, I think he won man of the match as well, which, is another slap in the face. I'm not going to look at Kepa for the goal. I saw a lot of people on the timeline already saying, Mendy saves that. Please, just shut up, man. Kepa's done the best he could have done over the last 5 or 6 games. If we're really going to dig at him for the first goal he concedes, then that's where we're looking at, are you really supporting? Because it's not like he's had crap games before that. He literally saved us from 2 L's in a row. And people are going to look at that and be like, yeah, but Mendy saved it. Sorry, Danny Welbeck against Brighton. Same ball in, same header, Mendy didn't save that. So if we're going to do that, we can have a debate about it. But Kepa was 100% not to blame for the equaliser. I don't care whether he couldn't reach it or not or whatever. It's the same old bullshit where we could see the goal late and we're just terrible at defending crosses the same way we always have been. That's where my issues are, not at Kepa.
So is it a case of, the set-piece coaches, they've got to do better organising? Is it the mentality of the players dropping deep? What would you put that down to?
Mentality is defo a shout. I've questioned this mentality at the side numerous times, and so has every other manager since Mourinho. Probably even including Mourinho has done it. So mentality definitely is an issue. We switched off when we got to the 90th minute, and the equaliser is the same late equaliser we see all the time. Danny Welbeck against Brighton, Connor Cody for Wolves. This one again. What is the same thing? It's a cross into the box. Brentford, what was the one way they kept attacking us other than transitions? Crosses into the box, and we are not managing them. Now, I understand that might have something to do with the defence because they're still new and there's an understanding that needs to be built. But I've said that since August. I don't mind still going with that, but that excuse is going to run dry if we're going to the end of the season and that's still a consistent problem. And we need to be doing better with that. Because if we're serious about top 4, we need to be seeing games out. There's enough problems in our squad already. We need to at least be able to hold on to a lead once we've managed to get there, because getting there is hard enough for us.
Yeah, because you talk about them whipping in crosses. I mean, that's not a case of set piece. That's a case of just having a defensive structure so they can't put the balls in the first place.
Yeah, the defensive line ain't been good enough in those decisions either. I feel maybe even our height can come into play with that as well. We are a very small side if we want to look at it from that remark, but we need to be better in that regard. And it wasn't just that too, like, our attack was non-existent until the subs came on. We were saying this is the sort of game where we need to see Aubameyang and Sterling turning up in. Neither of them did it. Aubameyang was very isolated. His first touch let him down a lot in that first half. Sterling was very, very frustrating. It's starting to become hard to defend him. Like, I always advocate for first season and everything like that, but we'll call a spade what it is when it comes to form. And Sterling hasn't been good enough the last few games. Now, it's not a knock on his quality. We know what the player is. He's probably still on form, our best attacker out of everybody else. But he needs to switch up. And he needs to switch up fast, because we signed him and he left City because he wanted to be the main man. If you want to be the main man, these are the games where you need to turn up in. And he is not doing that. Not right now. He was more on form when Tuchel was in charge as opposed to right now. Aubameyang, like, we didn't feed him anything clear-cut, so I'm not going to knock him too much. If he starts missing clear-cut chances, he's not doing his job. We didn't give him anything like that, but he also wasn't in the position, and his first touch let him down when we tried to do it. But
would you rather have had Havertz with the first touch?
That's not even funny, bro. That is, no. On a serious level, he wouldn't have done anything in this sort of game. The substitutions, again, were correct, though. Like, Tuesday, Pulisic has to start. I'm at a point now where I respectfully drop Sterling for a game, because we have tried to play him into form, and he has now been playing in the front forward positions as well. That's not working. Now he needs to ride bench for a little while. Pulisic has been aching for a consistent run of games for ages. Give him the run of games. Aubameyang can still start up front. I don't really mind. Like, I haven't got too much energy for him right now, but Sterling, he needs to do better.
We talk about Sterling's quality, just going back to... What is his qualities? Because we talk about a player scoring goals. He's a winger. In my opinion, if you're a winger, you're not in the same bracket as Aubameyang. You're a striker. We only need goals, right? You've got to do more than that. You need to hold the ball, win your 50-50s. I'm not seeing any of that.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we're criticising him for now, because he's not beating players. He's not making chances. He got the ball in an amazing position in the second half. And the touch, it wasn't just non-existent, it wasn't even directed in the right way. He didn't set it down in a position to be able to shoot. He set it down in a position to cut back, but nobody was there, at least from what I recall. And it was like the decisions were just constantly wrong. He was constantly losing possession. This isn't what we signed him for. And he wants to be the main man, so, like, you have the responsibilities of the main man. You can have a game off every now and then, and that's fine, but you can't have this sort of run of form. And he needs to pull himself back into it. I do think he can. I'm not worried about whether he can or can't, but it's when. When is he going to do it? Because every game that's going by is must win. This game was must win. We didn't win it. Now the other 2-3 games before the World Cup are now even more must win as a result of that. He has to wake up soon.
Do you see us going into the World Cup continuing sort of this run of winning games, drawing games, maybe not looking as convincingly up front as we should, or do you think we're going to bounce back and, try something different?
I don't know, because the games are only getting tougher. Like Brighton, they're going to be up for it just because they're facing Graham Potter. And then it's Arsenal at the Bridge, big derby. We don't like playing against them either. That's not going to be good. And then it's a week from hell straight after that, because we go to Man City away in the league, and then we go to Newcastle, and then we're off. It's not easy. The games aren't going to get easier, and the players are only going to get more tired. So I really don't know. It could genuinely go either way, but one win, one convincing performance can give us a bit more confidence going into that. But we have to see. I can't speculate on that yet.